Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome. Party Wipe episode 44. We continue to work on our Roguelike Deckbuilder, where you draft an RPG party. Intense intro music today? It was, wasn't it? But now we're back to our regular co-working stuff. Thirsty Thursday? Well, maybe. We're thirsty for game dev. You know what? I was too thirsty for game dev last night. And my co-working, my regular Wednesday co-working thing, I was like, I'm going to do this huge refactor. And then 3 hours later, I was like, this refactor is too big. And I rolled it back. I had to admit defeat around midnight. I was like, well, I could either roll this back, have the project be totally broken for tomorrow, or stay up until 3 a.m. and probably still not finish it. What was it for? It was the attempt was to better handle the complexity of having all of these like domain specific concerns. Like the party manager handles UI, and the environment map handles the tile map, and you can like stuff can be triggered on either end, and they kind of just it's just kind of a bunch of Spider-Men pointing at each other, and there's no authority. There's no central thing that's like, we're gonna do this now. Like there's no single representation of a character. There's only domain specific representations of a character. So like the UI version of the character is totally separate from like the on the board version of the character. And I was trying to consolidate all of that. And what I did was I realized how hard that would be. So I rolled it back. Due to my poor habits with commits, I lost some of the progress we made yesterday. But you know what? That happens sometimes. So now the characters move again as soon as I select them. It's fine. We'll fix all of this stuff. I have a bunch of stuff that I know I need to fix now because I fixed it before and we'll fix it again. Hey, Rhiannon. Very funny. I don't know if that'd work, Rhiannon. People are always comparing me to like David Cross or I don't know who else. This other guy, I don't remember his name. He was like a education YouTuber. In real life, I normally get Will Forte, which is not my favorite. Not my favorite comparison. Nothing against him. I just don't want to be compared to him. So yeah, we gotta do some stuff. We gotta see what parts of these changes I can salvage. Michael Stevens, aka Vsauce. I'm glad somebody remembers. I still haven't seen any of their content. D-Sauce, oh my god. How's everyone doing? Yeah, so I wanted, like some of the annoying things about here is like, we keep track of who's selected in the map and who's selected in the UI, and like, we have all these things. We did create a top level like auto load who can at least answer questions about a character. And I think that's kind of the approach we're gonna take. So that you can get one from one to the other a little more cleanly, and it will handle some of this complexity of like, this thing is represented in multiple places. And I think I'm going to stick with that because my solution was to like have it all be up in this higher level entity. And then I realized that doesn't actually work because like, while I could have all of that work for heroes, there's more than just heroes on the board. There's like villains, there's opposition, there's monsters, there's mobs and bosses and stuff. And it's like, you actually can't answer questions about the board without just asking the board. So we're just gonna keep everything down at the lower level that it's at currently, and maybe provide more windows into that. The big thing that prompted this was the fact that we're getting some signal circularity, and it's kind of back to that whole Spider-Man pointing to each other thing. And that I need to mitigate to an extent. Like here, like I'm gonna follow the train of this signaling, and we're gonna try to understand why this is happening. So like, if in the environment map, I look like your old boss, Jacob. Okay, I am nobody. Let me reassure you, I am nobody's boss. going on here? Oh no. Ticks on the dog. That's unfortunate. Your second 3 hours of sleep night this week, Rhiannon. That's rough. Yeah, I rolled back because I was like, I can't have one of these. If I have a night where I don't get at least like, I don't know, 7 hours of sleep or something, I'm destroyed the following day. Like, the stream sucks. I'm useless. And now that we've got viewers, I say now that YouTube's decided to show the stream to people again, I'm like, we have to just, the project has to be presentable. I have to be energized. I've accepted the fact that like I can't stay up late doing stuff anymore. Which I was never particularly good at that. I've like never, nighttime has never been particularly productive time for me. I think you're just running on Red Bull and adrenaline. Oh my glob. Gotta hit some new deadlines for the new boss. Hit some deadlines for the new boss. That's rough. That's rough. All-nighters are reserved for jams. That's actually how I felt last night. Because I was trying to do, you know, multiple days worth of work in like one sitting. And I was like sweaty and tired and like anxious. And I was like, this isn't a game jam. I know I said I was going to work on it like a game jam, but like it went too far. How's it going, Footlong Icicle? How are you doing today? You still managed to put out 2 big features for staging? Nice, Rhiannon, nice. Yeah, we're getting a lot of talks about how things are tough right now, and everyone knows that we're busy and underwater. And I'm like, we haven't even gotten started yet. We have a bunch of huge transitions in the works that is going to be so much work. They'll be good in the long run. I'm fully behind these transitions technologically, but like, oh my god. I'm like, if you guys feel busy now, just wait. Just wait until we're like trying to transition stuff over on a deadline. Because we didn't renew our old stuff. All right, so we're gonna follow this. I said we were gonna follow a chain of signals, and that's what I want to do here. So we're gonna follow this selected character fig signal chain, which is like my cursor's on the map, and I click a character figure, like a little figurine that represents a character. I click on them. Okay, that triggers the select character fig function. Okay, we do a bunch of different stuff. What did I say I was actually going to do? I was supposed to be at the signal. I'm not even in the right place. I said we were going to trace the token spent. That's a totally different batch. Here, maybe it's card dropped. I don't think it is, though. See, I don't even know where we're supposed to be. Card token spent. I want to... We do this await. We trigger a signal... Or we receive a signal and we do a bunch of stuff, and then we await the receipt of this signal. Oh, I started at the end, not the beginning. That explains it. Other direction. We're doing all right. Tokens. What is this, an LLM? I'm confusingly borrowing like wargaming terminology, and yeah. Tokens represent temporary stand-ins for something else. I could have called it something else, but token was okay. So like a card token is this thing I'm manipulating that is backing a card that is somewhere else because I need to deal with it in this form for various reasons. Same thing with like a equipment item slot. Yeah, we call them tokens. We're taking the term back. Because I want to distinguish them from figs, which are the more permanent variety of representations on the board. Okay. So I'm gonna go through this thing. So here's a pretty normal process of what occurs. So like we've got our bard. Here's like an item, like a loot. So I've got the bard's loot. I've dragged it out. I'm over here. I'm gonna drop the loot on the bard, right? So it can equip. Now the bard is selected. The loot is there. We expanded the equip page. All of that occurred. Very good. Here's kind of what happened under the hood. So when the cursor went over the character, we have this on-card token added because the environment map is like, oh, we could play this card here. Let me give you a token of this card that has other things. It has like a physical presence on the board, which is why we can see the icon and stuff. Okay, that all happens. And then when we lift the cursor, we then get a on-card token spent. So if that token was still there and it's in a valid spot, we can now spend that token to like get a character figure. Yeah, that is a little too close to LLM terminology, huh? I don't know. So we do all of that. So we spend the token. In this case, we add the piece of equipment to the character, which I think does its own series of things. So if we go to add equip card, do all of this nonsense. Do we signal anything back up and out? No, we don't. But we do a bunch of selection. We do a bunch of manipulation so that we can see the new page and everything. We do all of this stuff. Then we take a snapshot because we just changed the board state. And that triggers a whole bunch of stuff. And then the thing is, now we have to await a signal that's inevitably going to come, even though, so we spent this card token. One of the last steps of that add equip card thing is that we're going to select that character now. And so we have to wait for that to follow through and then add this other thing. It's annoying. We've created like a slight loop where we're like, I anticipate another signal as a result of my doing this thing. So we're like bouncing things back where the environment is like, this is happening. And then we're being like, okay, this other thing happened. And then they're like, whoa, this other thing happened. And we're pinging back and forth a little bit too much. And I tried to resolve that by adding a structure above. So everyone was signaling up and calling down, which is the good, naive Godot thing to do. Just to avoid some of this like hanging back and forth of signaling where we're like, okay, we know this is going to happen, then this will happen, then that'll happen, and blah, 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 blah. But it ended up being too much to try to actually untangle that. So I'm just going to live with it, and we're going to try to clean it up later. Because, yeah, it was just too much. It was too much to try to deal with. So let's actually let's try to get back some of the gains from yesterday that I had to roll back because I tried to do too much. Shenanigans, you were working... Oh, hi, Sapphire. You were working on the auto tiler shenanigans. Yeah, I was focused. I was in this co-working event. I was going to hop into the stream. But I was talking to some people. Have some bugs make it feel a bit janky. Creating a few patterns last night. Exposed how tedious the workflow is. Nice. Yeah, call down, signal up is nice in theory. Sometimes it's just nice to ping signals around. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the problem is I was like, okay, we could create this hero or character. We could create this hero manager that knows about all the heroes. Because that's the other problem now is like aspects of the character on the board are stored in their figure. But aspects of the character in the character sheet are stored separately, so there's no one representation of a character. There's no one thing that's like, this is the character. There's like these separate aspects of the character that are controlled by their different domain of like, this is their UI element, this is their piece on the board. And I wanted to create a higher representation that was like all of it. It's one thing. And then everything else could be like a view into it. But that was also too complicated because it's like, Then you need to distinguish between heroes and then the mobs or the enemies and the party members. And it's like the environment map needs to know about all of them. It can't be this separate thing. So I don't know. I've paused on that. I've kind of just accepted that this is kind of a mess. And we'll try to work on it. Try to work on it later. Hey, Arneo. If it makes you feel any better, I can't follow. I don't have the headspace to follow along with this either. All right, let's do the few things. So one thing is we need to be able to play character cards, and the card manager doesn't know about this new resource system. Or maybe it does. Maybe I did fix that. Okay, it looks like I did fix that. That's good to know. Let me try to level up this item. Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's work on that. Card manager. But yeah, it sucks. The project's getting big enough where I'm like starting to feel constrained by some prior decisions I've made. So the card catalog needs to go away. I'm not going to use that anymore. Instead, it's going to be replaced with cards, which is a registry. How do I get the registry? Oh, it's just a preload. Let's go into the data. Let's get our cards registry. I don't want it to be a UID. I like UIDs, but I like human readable paths better. Because now I can be like, oh, data, registry, card registry. Oh, I know what that is. It's a little more brittle, but it's nice to know what you're talking about. All right, so we have this cards registry. So instead of asking some of these different questions, instead of getting cards at level and getting cards named, we can do all of this at once with a query on our registry, which is neat. We can also get rid of all this too. I need to get rid of all the cruft associated with our old card management process, which was like based on the CSV files and parsing those and everything. You like to separate your data from anything that is rendered? I do too. That's why I made a whole entity component system. That's what we tried to set up, Nanigans. Control shift drop. Okay, I usually do control drop. Yeah, I wanted a single source of truth for this stuff, but the domain specific representations is just going to be better for what we're dealing with. Or it would just be so much work. It's not worth it to do right now. It's one of those things where it's like, I could redesign everything from like the ground up. Or I could try to maintain some degree of momentum. Just accept that this is what we deal with. Hey, Remus. I mean, to an extent, we do have consistent data sources, aka the cards. But the thing is, there's like ephemeral state associated with an instance of a card, like a character that has gained XP or has been buffed, so they have different damage. And a lot of that data has no meaning outside of its domain, so we're just going, and a lot of it is, you would have a hard time separating it out by its kind. Like, we put the characters here and we put the villains here, and it's like the domain doesn't make that distinction in a lot of cases, so I think it's just better to just, I think I'm just gonna manage it. It's one of those things that's like less than optimal, but all right, so what we can do here is we can say return. Well, what we can do is we can say if, what do I want to say? I think we can just say return. We can say return. Return cards dot where. This is the part where indexed properties is really cool. Card level. Is card level. And card name is card name. So we can have these compound queries, which is neat. And we can just grab the first one. Actually, what we should probably do is say query result is an array of base card. Actually, what does it return? It returns indexes, right? An array of ints. Equals query cards where card level matches this. Doesn't this return an array? Oh, it returns a, no, yeah, an array of string name. Interesting. Now what we can do is we can say if query res dot size is exactly 1, then we'll return cards dot load entry query res. I'm gonna say query array maybe. Otherwise, we're just going to return null. It's kind of neat. Kind of neat that we can do that. I guess this is supposed to be like this. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. Like that, I guess. I don't know. Jacob, you're doing a bunch of block bench? Nice. 8th jam this year? Yeah, you are prolific. Yeah, where's Fable Footy? Oh, it's on hold. That's fair. Someone actually commented on the last FTL like VOD. I was like, what happened to the project? And I'm like, we'll get back to it. Get card res. Out of bounds, get index 0. Base array. What? Oh, that was from the last run. Oh, we don't do this anymore. Get rid of this. Okay, we're going to apply this mace, and we are going to try to level up the mace. Serialize. In base nil. Why? What's going on? What's going on with that? Equip page. What did you fail to serialize? For card and equip pile dot get children. Card array dot append. Card data serialize. What's happened here? Is the card data not loaded? What's going on here? Card array, size 0. Card. So we have a card. Where's the card data? Layout. We have a layout. Card data. Empty. Interesting. I think yard is I think we're not loading the resources, which doesn't make sense. Doesn't quite make sense. Let me see when we're creating the starting deck. Yeah, we've got all of our resources here. We've got references to them all. This was kind of happening last night to an extent. And I was like, I'm doing so many other things. I don't understand why this is happening. Who sets up? Who does the setup? Whose job is this? Deck manager dot setup. Deck. So we've got a deck of cards. For card resource in deck.cards. Create card. Card resource. A lot of people have their main games on hold right now. Yeah, I think people are coming around to the meta of, you know, making smaller games faster, right? So, what's up with the cards? Let me just look at some cards. Let me look at some cards in my hand here in the remote tree. I'm curious what's happening to these cards. So you are card. You have card data. That's good. You have card data. You have card data. Oh, it's the loading. It's the when we create a new card at a higher level, there's some problem with getting them the card data for some reason. Do I need to load it before I return it? Is that maybe what's happening? Get card res, query array. Yeah, wait, return card. What does load entry give us back? Gives us a resource. Get card res. No, that means we should guarantee that we load. Returns null. The entry does not exist or cannot be loaded. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Maybe we just say. Maybe we don't say load. Maybe we say. I don't remember how to do this. I don't think we necessarily need to load these. Let me get the documentation up here. I don't totally understand how the load thing works. I guess we just dig into the function a little bit. Load entry. Cache mode reuse. No, this should be fine. This should just work. So there's something weird about the way we create a new card now. Create card. Card.new, get card res, card level, card name. That should be good. Catching up on chat here. I couldn't imagine having multiple projects, LSG. Oh, this is nice. Boss to you. You ran it in a dashboard. You threw together an hour or two of finishing a bigger feature today. Yeah. Especially if you got a new boss. I've learned that, you know, the credit that you get for work you do is very asymmetrical compared to the amount of work that is actually involved. I think I've learned to just prioritize the things I've explicitly asked to do. Which seems like the dumbest statement in the world, but like it's like prioritizing yourself around the work that's visible, right? Around work that's like highly visible and a lot of people see. And even if it seems like a weird one-off or something and you're like drowning in like the real obligations that you know is the more important work. All right, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to figure out the process for getting... So, for some reason, it works fine for when we level up the character card. But when we do it with a piece of equipment... Let me see if I can get multiple pieces of equipment of the same type here. In one draw, so I can just do this easily. Oh, they're making it hard. They're making it tough on me here. Give me the same card twice. Is that asking too much? Of course it is now that I actually want it. He says as he has party wipe, lo-fi flyby, and my FTL like. No. That's different. I would never work on all of those simultaneously. That's the mistake. I think it's fine to have plenty of ideas and even to like explore them a bit. Shillelaghs. Okay, we got double shillelagh. Let's see. So we're going to put a shillelagh here. And then we're going to put a second shillelagh, and we're going to crash. And we're going to understand why. Equipment array, append, equipment page, dot serialize. Party manager, serialize, sheet array, dot append. Run manager, save data, party manager. Serialize. Take snapshot, party manager, take snapshot. Interesting. So for some reason, this add equip card thing is not... When we take the snapshot, the equip card hasn't been added. Like the actual card, the new card that we're creating, which would be like along this branch... Well, it wouldn't be this. It would be this branch. It would be this specific branch. So we add a equip card. We get the card data. We're like, okay, is this enough to level up? Okay, it is. Level up equipment. Move all the cards to the trash pile. Make a new card. Oh, wait. Card. We don't actually need to do this. This is too many steps. This shouldn't matter though. But we're just gonna give this a try here. It's one step. We'll say card manager. Create card. Create a card. Then we'll move the card to the equipment pile, and we'll move it instantly. That should work. What do we do for character cards? Or character sheets when we level up a character card? I think we do it the same way. Card.new.move to. Yeah, I like doing it as separate steps. Yeah, it's a common issue with back-end or security work for front-end stuff that people say, yeah. LSG, your strat is to do stuff no one else wants to do. Good for job security. You got a lot of I would call that independence. Yeah, the problem is a lot of people will just forget that you're doing that stuff. They just won't know. They'll forget. Well, I'm either making this a lot better or a lot worse. I have a similar problem, which is like, I think most people don't understand what my job is, really, like what the details are and the amount of stuff I do. Yeah, I don't even think I can do that, LSG, where you're like multiple projects that you switch to week per week. I think I have to fully pick up or put things down. Obviously, game jams are a little different because you're just like, I'm doing a game jam this weekend. Character res equals new card dot card data. It's fine. See if that fixes anything. Wallaber somehow pulls that off. I don't know how Wallaber does that. The Wallaber is also insanely prolific. Wallaber has a lot of games. All right, let's see if this worked. Okay, that seems fine. Let's try to grab 2 items that match again. It used to be so easy. I think it's different for engineering disciplines. Your outcomes are extremely measurable. Yeah, maybe. If your employer is measuring, if your employer measures the right things. My point is that the impact of your work is largely unrelated to the amount of work that the thing is. And I think that's just a good thing to keep in mind, especially if you're dealing with like a new boss, is you want to do a lot of stuff that's got very high impact. In terms of obvious impact, especially to non-technical people, because even if your stuff is super measurable, I feel like the higher up you get on the totem pole, the less technical people tend to be, or the less technically they think about that stuff. I don't know. My point is the stuff that you work on that you know is super crucial is probably not the things that that upper management values from you. Like you're probably doing a bunch of stuff to maintain things and keep things running smoothly and stuff, and it's like, and that's not what people notice. People notice little dashboards you make for them at short notice. They notice like weird little things. They notice how quickly you respond to an urgent request. I just think it's good. I think it's good to keep that stuff in mind, especially if you're navigating a new boss or something like that. Someone who hasn't like slowly managed to accrete the understanding of like all the different things you work on. Do I have 2 items yet? Nope. I know I could just do one and then do another one, but I'm just being lazy. Swords. 2 swords. Here we go. Give this guy a sword. Give this man a shield. We're still crashing. So card array.append card.carddata.serialize. Non-existent function serialize in base nil. For some reason, this card is being created without data, which is so insane. If I look on this card, this card's card data field just is empty. This has literally never happened before. Equipment array.append. Equipment page.serialize. Sheet array.append. Character sheet.serialize. So we're just going up the save stack here. We're going to go all the way to here, which told us to take the snapshot. For some reason, the add equip card is not doing what it should be doing. Add equip card. Equip page.add equip card. This is, I know this is the branch that we traveled. Equip card. Card.move to equip pile. Oh, this should be instant for one thing. I should be doing that instantly over here as well. That's good, LSG. Nice, Rhiannon. Yeah, that's a lot. Shenanigans. You have carte blanche to get things done. Use your own judgment. Many pros and cons to that. You haven't really had a direct boss that even knows what you're doing on the day-to-day in like 8 years. That's the scary part, because that's very good. That's very good in a way, but it's also very scary in a way, because there could totally be, you know, a meeting somewhere, you know, especially nowadays where someone's like, what does Nanigans do? And literally nobody knows, right? You don't want to be in the Milton situation where they're like, what does this person do? And this is what happens when companies just let people go because they don't understand how crucial they are. I'm not saying you're in danger of that happening. I'm just saying it's nice to have that kind of independence, but it's so crucial to make sure that you're doing your work in such a way that everyone has super high visibility into it and why it's valuable. That's just the fear. So that you're doing good work and nobody knows. I fear that for everyone, especially in the current, you know, job market. All the AI craze. All right, so why doesn't this work now that we've gotten rid of the card catalog? That's my question. It has something to do with Yard, I think, in that I could use it to ameliorate this, but yeah, Rhiannon's doing the right thing. Yeah, showing that to your new boss is the crucial thing of like, here's all the stuff that I do. Here's why you need me. And sometimes that means doing something that you know is not important and seems stupid. But it will be valued much more highly than any of the real work that you do. Because somebody higher up wanted it, right? That was my only point. My only point is that your understanding and even the true understanding of the value of your work is very different than what someone, you know, 3 levels up from you in the organization thinks. Because your direct boss can usually have an idea of all the work that you're saving them from, but as soon as you get to their boss, that understanding breaks down. And then once you get to their boss's boss, nobody has any idea what you're doing. Right? It's scary. Because it's those people up there that make all these decisions. What was the Microsoft thing they said where they were like, there were 14 levels of management involved in these decision-making processes. And it's like, what? They're like, we're getting it down to 3 to 5 levels of management. And I'm like, that's still too many. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening here. So we're in this level up situation. Level up, level up, level up. We move all of the old cards to the trash pile. Oh, this isn't happening instantly. Maybe that's the problem. I don't see how that could be the problem, but we'll do it instantly anyway. It certainly helps to do it instantly. And we create a card, which should create a card and the resource in it. Card resource. Card data equals card resource. If the card resource is null, that's a problem. That's probably what's happening somehow. Get card resource is probably returning null for some reason, more often than I want it to. But I want to defend against queries that aren't valid. Cards where... Is the card registry wrong? I don't think so. Let me double check. Is the card registry empty? No, of course not. That would be crazy. Oh, on to discard. Oh, I was supposed to do this as like a signal. Whatever. I'm suspicious of the way I'm doing this. $14? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a classic Arneo is the you get rid of someone. Why Sapphire? You just didn't know that they basically held together everything. Okay, let me show me my output. It's an empty array. So that is what's happening. That is what's happening. So card level and card name. Card level int, card name, string name. Cards.where.
That wave isn't necessarily a thing you achieve.
I think I got the syntax for this correct. Yeah, I did. Expected identifier string as a Lua-style dictionary. Yeah, this is right?
Ideas aren't static, but fluid, like water.
It's an empty array, which is confusing. I got this working yesterday, which is why I'm a little perplexed today. It was just one of the things I had to roll back. So why is this empty? Is it because I just need to load? I'm just going to load everything. I'm just going to load the whole thing. I don't even care. It's cool that Yard lets you load things incrementally. I'm just going to say, I think that's what's happening. Load all blocking. I could make a threaded request, but we're just going to do it all. We're just going to load all of it. I don't want to deal with it. I think that's what's happening. I thought you could query... I was pretty sure that you could query things without loading them. That's kind of something they seem to advertise as part of why the loading mechanism is the way... the querying mechanism is set up the way it is. So you don't actually need to load them to query them, but that practically doesn't seem to be the case here. I don't know what OMAD is. I would like to. Is it like some kind of intermittent fasting? So I know that works. I have a hard time with that. 1 meal a day. Really? 1 meal a day, huh? I guess that's a kind of intermittent fasting. It's a pretty hardcore kind. I hope that works out for you. It literally couldn't be me. I'm already thinking of snacks. And I ate breakfast not long ago. Come on, just give me 2 kinds of one item. That's all I want. I guess I should have included more than 2 of each item. Here we go, 2 glaives. So we've got our glaive here, and now... Still a crash. Still a crash. What does the output say? The output says nothing. Why? Well, I don't know. Level up. New card manager.create card. Guess we got to go back to querying this. Printing the query. You know, just for... I'm going to print the card level and the card name. Does everything print and prints? I wonder if I, like, removed the... I'm pretty sure I indexed these things. Pretty sure I did. I don't know why it's not working all of a sudden. I also have to redo the button disability things, like disabling the buttons. I lost that too. Went in my rollback. Here we go, 2 grenades. Let's equip a grenade. What happens if I equip a grenade in both slots? Wonder. 2, makeshift grenade. Makeshift grenade. That's 2. What is your card name, Mr. Makeshift Grenade? Yeah, that's right. So let's sort these, I guess, by name. Grenade. crude. Oh my god. Well, this example is stupid in that this example is, the file is wrong. But I didn't make that mistake with every single item, did I? Like, this is kind of crazy that we spotted that error. But I didn't do that everywhere, did I? I don't think so. Card level 2. Chipped hammer. So literally what we're doing is we take the name of the level 1 card and the next level, and then we ask the system to give us the cards that fit that. We've got card level as an index property. We've got card name as an index property. If I open this with like just Notepad. So here's all of our cards. String IDs to UIDs. Property index. String name. Dictionary. Card level. 1. Yeah, okay. Two. This seems to be all of this indexed, right? And then what if we talk about names? Card name. Bard. I like how they really want hash sets and they just use dictionaries instead. Because they have the value as true, but that's like a meaningless distinction. Splintered arrow, rusted sword, rusted spear. So the where function should be like, okay, this is in level 2 and it's in whatever. The thing that I don't understand is that this is working for the heroes, but it's not working at all for the equipment. And that's that's where I don't understand. Let's just look. Let's dig into that. Okay, so in interesting, let's see if this works the right way for the character, because it practically it is. Like if I put this Bard card here and I level up the Bard card, 2 Bard, and Bard level 2 hero card, exactly what you expect. If we do this for an item, arrows. We put in an arrow. And then we put in another arrow. Oh, now you're gonna work. Now you're gonna work. What the hell? Did I literally just get unlucky and like test like only bad cards? Well, then I have to go look for more for these so-called bad cards. Come on, just give me 2 matching cards. That's all I want. Oh, nope, that's not it. Fishing rods. Take it. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know why it's working all of a sudden. But I'll take it. It's possible that we had a mix of bad luck. Like, that we needed to load all the cards. I feel like we don't need to do this, though. I'm going to hide this part again, because I feel like this is not required. But we're going to see. We're going to see about it. I'm going to double check. So it'd be interesting if that was the problem. Nope, that wasn't the problem. Okay, so we don't need to load them all. Loading them individually is fine. Because, yeah, the query system should work before they're loaded. I'm just going to reverse this. It's not equal to 1. Return null. It's the more common case anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Could have been a combination of issues. I'm now concerned and suspicious that some of these card names are wrong. Seems fine. Wait, let me change the size of the thing. There we go. Go back here. I'm specifically concerned that these names are wrong. Oh, God. Okay, whatever. We did it. This is what happens when you don't totally use the scientific method and you do multiple fixes in one go and you don't know which one was the actual fix. But that's okay. That's okay. What we do need to do is probably try to rely on this signaling system more. But this is fine. The way we're doing this. Okay, that problem is fixed. Let's try to get back to whatever it was that I was doing before. Yeah, I like coffee. I have coffee every morning. I don't know if I've ever noticed I don't know if I've ever noticed a positive effect of caffeine. Like, I think I either just don't notice it at all or I've had too much and I'm, like, jittery. Like, which makes me think that there is probably a positive effect that I'm just not aware of. But yeah, to me, it's like, I have a coffee every morning, but to me, the effect is totally invisible up until I've had too much and I'm, like, now anxious. Yeah, and luckily I don't think I have the thing where I feel bad if I don't have it, which is good, even though I never test that theory, so maybe I do. Maybe I do. Hey, Nix, thanks for the hydrate. How's it going? All right, let's fix the buttons here, I guess. Getting all of that set up was part of the thing that led to my refactor. So we'll see if it pisses me off here. I think I lost some of my textures. I did. That's fine. Create a new one. Act button. Disabled. What? Oh no, where did I put this? I put this in the wrong place. There it is. That is true, Nix. That is true. I like the analogy. It's like turning off the thermometer, not like turning down the temperature. Or turning up the temperature, whatever is the appropriate. Why do I have a button pressed tab? Oh, I understand. I understand why I have that. Never mind. Oh no. Duplicate. Disabled. Okay, so these buttons are going to start disabled. This one will start like this. This one will also start disabled. Now, who handles this? Okay, yeah, I do have to redo most of this. Okay, that's annoying. No, I need to connect these. I don't think I need that there, but I do need this here. That's wrong. Oh, nice. That sounds good. I would love to sleep for 12 hours. I am tired today. It's probably obvious. It could have been worse. I tried to do too much last night. Oh no, this needs to be down in an else. Could have been worse. I just kind of cut my losses. I've gotten more comfortable doing that. I really need to be super on top of my commits. I'm not really doing a commit every day, which is a problem. I kind of tie it a little bit more to features, but it does mean it is something that you should just do before starting a refactor. You should just do a clean commit. The fact that I didn't do that and I kind of impulsively just started on a refactor was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Be fair. What I was doing didn't seem like it was going to be that hard, right? But, you know, it never does. It never does. If disabled, yada, yada, yada. Probably fine. Might not be fine. We'll have to see. So now someone needs to tell the button to become not disabled. The real drug is Coke Zero, though. You definitely have a problem. Yeah, I feel glad that the artificial sweeteners are just disgusting to me. I mean, I maybe have a little too much sugar, but I don't really drink soda or anything. But now they tell me that the microplastics are in my LaCroix, so I don't know. So I don't know. All right, so this is disabled. This is all still working. Oh yeah, what I want to do is I want to do a check of, are we moving when we select a character? And so here's the thing. Whose job, I guess, you know, is moving is like, I guess that's like a character figure thing. That's part of the domain on the board here. So that's where we're going to put it. That was one of those things where it's like the character at the top level should just know whether it's moving or not. But there is no character at the top level, so we're going to put it down here. The only real question is, does it need to be... Actually, that's maybe something we could store at the top level. That's one of the few things we can maybe store all the way up here. But is it worth it? Because you would need to reference it by like a name. What we're going to do is we're going to have maybe that be a string. I don't really want it to be a bool because that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Maybe we put it on the figure. this here somewhere. If they're moving, then we know they have a token, so maybe it is better to just store this here. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Is this the best way to do it? Probably not. Is this what we're gonna do? Yes. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to scrutinize whether a character is moving before we let them do anything. Where is our, what did we even call it? A fig token, maybe? Where are we doing this stuff? So if character selected, we should say if character selected and character selected dot is moving. That should stop our token from moving around. This guy might go invisible. No. Okay, good. Okay. So when we select a character, we want to enable the move button. So that we should do in the UI probably. I think the UI is a bit more of a... it's actually kind of arguable where we do this, but we're going to do it here. Let's actually ask the menu manager. Or we could just toggle the move button. I don't really want a reference to the whole menu button row or the move button row anywhere. Let's just say menu manager and let's say toggle move button toggled. It's cool. Well, in this case, it would just be true. Actually, should it just be the move button row? Yes. Why did I phrase it this way? Turn this off. Everyone's having a good day today. Kind of want to have this be more normal. The wrong menu or the row. So we're gonna need, excuse me. So is this gonna be a signal chain? I don't really want it to be. Is there any reason why we would go through here to do this? I don't think so. Let's do this differently then. Oh, I know why we would do it. Never mind. There actually is a good reason why we would do it this way. Oh. What do we do with the end turn button? Who do you connect to? You connect to the turn manager, probably. You're going to work on your first from scratch vertex shader today? Nice. You need to do an electricity arc effect for your magnet. Oh, that sounds fun. Plan to use a ribbon trail, move the vertices in a shader, then apply noise to get the zigzag effect. Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't remember how I did this yesterday, and I don't feel like I enjoy the obvious solution to this. So when we press either the move or the act button, it needs to run through something. It needs to run up through something. So if we're in deployment mode, it shouldn't really do anything unless a character is already selected. If we're not in deployment mode, then it should select the character whose turn it is. Like if we're in a regular turn and you click move, it should auto-select the character whose turn it is so that you can move. So that means we want the turn manager involved in some way. Because you're the one who kind of knows what turn it is. This can't be a character sheet reference because the initiative is not actually in a character sheet order. The initiative is like everybody, including enemies. So it should really be the figures. And not character figures, but like the underlying like unit figures. Is that a thing? It's not. We need an underlying thing. We can make it character figures for now, I think. Arguably, there should be an underlying character sheet. Ancestor as well, or base class. Arguably. What we can't do is we can't just be like string name. Because while heroes have unique names, enemies do not. And this is one of the issues I had with my attempt to like push everything up into a character manager. It's like, well, that'll work for the party members. But what about the enemies? And it's like, oh, well, they could have their own manager. And it's like, yeah, but so many systems don't care about that distinction. And you're like, well, just have a manager that handles all of them. And it's like, no. I mean, maybe from like, but then we're inverting the intended structure, which is like the intent was there was going to be this top level thing that had the actual representations of all the data. And then all of the domain specific views into that data were like read from that. But now we're suggesting the opposite, which is like there's a way to get all that data through the top level manager, but all of the actual data lives down in the domain specific areas that they make that data makes sense in. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, but we're doing it. Yeah, that should be a fun thing to do on stream. Yeah, part of the reason I rolled back the refactor is I was like, it's really important to keep things interesting on stream. Yeah, it's like, that feels superficial, but it's like true. Say initiative order or something like that. You call it like combatant turn order. I liked initiative, but it's probably better. So let's not worry about anything except the deployment phase. So someone needs to ask about this, but who? Whose job? Whose job is this going to be? Arguably, it should be the move button row. Yeah, let's do that. I might change this thing's name. So we are going to do this here. We're going to do this simply. Relatively simply. I don't remember how I did this yesterday, but I'm sure it was easier than whatever I'm conceiving of now. But I think I'll like this better. I honestly think we just signaled up to like the turn manager and we just made it the turn manager's job. And I think that's okay. We're going to try this instead. So when the move button is toggled, we'll say if you like keeping the data close to where it's used typically, then like you said, have a presentation layer that knows about the data. Yeah, that's like the opposite of what I like. I like keeping the data far away from the functionality. And then the functionality can like apply various aspects to it or whatever. But Godot GDScript is not like the most favorable to doing that. The way, just kind of the way the regular process is here, which is, you know, part of the reason we had a whole separate simulation layer for the FTL like. So I just had an easier time thinking about it in that environment where we had the data all separate. But we're kind of just moving fast. Godot really likes co-locating things. That's a great way to summarize it. It's true whether you're talking about file organization. Like when you create a script on a scene, Godot is like, you're going to put this script right next to the scene, right? And it's like, maybe. I kind of like having script folders, but yeah, I guess. It's one of those things where it's like, I think the default Godot way of doing things is really good for small games. Like I almost never mess with whatever the way Godot wants me to do things for a small game. But as the game gets bigger, I start to run into issues. That's generally been my experience. Is like the bigger the game, the more I kind of want to impose my own structure, and kind of usually the harder time I have doing it. Especially because big games are often built out of little games. They start little and then they get big. All right, so if we toggle the move button, if we've toggled it off, we need to set is moving to be false. We do know about the environment map, but we don't really know. We kind of know, but we don't really know, and I don't know if we want to start knowing. If we want to start knowing. I kind of want to cheat because everything in the run is in this run manager scene. Like everything that is consistent with the length and the scope of the run is in here. So we could totally know about the environment map from here and just ask the environment map questions directly, but that's a lot of like direct coupling. I think that's largely a problem shared with large programming projects in general. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be. Then you get other problems. Whatever model you pick is going to have its problems, that's for sure. Because you can go ham on like an ECS and stuff, right? And then your problem is no longer easily organizing your data. Now your problem is like actually getting things done. Like, how do you process events? Like, there's a lot of there. You just move on to a different set of problems, right? But yeah, you kind of pick your poison. It's all a trade-off. So what we're gonna do here. So if we're toggling the button on. Yeah, there actually isn't a good way to do this. We're gonna keep the menu button row like limited in its scope. It's really just its job is gonna be to enable, disable, and reposition buttons. I don't want to add a lot of logic and functionality here, I've decided. So what we're gonna do instead is on ready. What we're gonna do is we are going to register the move button and the act button with a higher power. I'm going to say menu manager dot move button equals move button. Act button. We'll register these and we will connect their signals. act button dot toggle dot connect to menu manager dot on act button toggled. This is how we're gonna do this. Because there's a lot of bidirectional nonsense here that we're gonna get into. Sometimes you toggle the button and sometimes the button toggles you, you know? That's fine. This thing doesn't do anything yet. All right, so the way we're setting this up, didn't realize that this was going to be so involved today. But the thing is, there's like I said, sometimes we want to trigger the button and sometimes we want to listen to the button getting triggered. And having this happen up here, I could have been fine to do it in its parent, but this is going to be easier because this thing is going to need to drill down into a lot of very specific information. So like if the move button gets toggled, what we need to do is we need to know about the environment map. The environment map layer needs to tell itself about us. We're still going to attempt some degree of signal up, call down. I wonder if this would be better served in the input manager than the menu manager. I could see an argument for like, why do I even have a menu manager? Timeline index, timeline. Oh, I have this in the input manager? That's weird. Oh, that's the save timeline. That's fine. Never mind. Yeah, wait, why? What? Oh, no, you don't do this at all. Local to map. Oh. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I've got a few too many auto loads is maybe my issue, but I think it's okay. I think I'll live. So when the move button is toggled, we want to ask a couple of questions. We want to say if not turn manager dot in deployment phase. Why don't you know about the turn manager? Oh, the turn manager is not an auto load. That's stupid. Maybe we should do this in the turn manager. What does the turn manager know about? Nothing. Okay, maybe we don't. do like signals. Like using signals for pretty much everything. Okay, so if we're not in the deployment phase, then we need to confirm that there is if environment map dot character selected then environment map dot character selected dot is moving equals true. What if someone else is? No, we'll just clean that up when we unselect character fig. We actually should add that right now. Unselect. Yeah, unselect character fig. We need to say if character selected. We need to say character selected dot is acting equals false. Character selected dot is moving equals false. And we can destroy their fig token. It's the wrong script. Move button toggled. If environment map dot character selected, environment map dot character selected dot is moving equals true. If we are, oh no, this is if we are in the deployment phase. So this is else, or we could just do this as an elif, huh? Elif. So if we're in the deployment phase, we only set a character to be moving if we already have one selected. However, if we're in the regular battle mode, aka not in the deployment phase, if we're in regular battle, that means it's a specific character's turn. That character might not be selected because you might be looking at another character. You might be playing a card onto another character. So what we need to do if we... Well, for one thing, this needs to be if toggled on. This is the if toggled on. If we're not toggled on, then we need this elif here. But it needs to be false. So if not turn manager dot in deployment phase. Yeah, so now we need to select a character and set them to be moving. So we would need to say turn manager needs to know this. So turn manager variable turn index is an int equals -1. Say like current turn index. I guess I'm on a long variable kick right now. Long variable name kick. These are going to get shorter in the future. So what we want to do is we want to say like get current combatant. Get next combatant. I don't know. I don't really want next. I want current. Funk. Actually, this could be a property, huh? We could say, actually, I think what I had before is I had this as, whose turn is it? This shouldn't be a property. This should be a function. I remember what I did. I remember what I did now. Why is this song so much louder than every other song? Whose turn is it? Character fig. We'll say if in deployment phase, return null. Otherwise, love long variable names, but indent-aware languages do make them a bit more annoying to work with. Yeah, I lose patience very quickly with this tiny little editor window I have to work with here. I know I don't have to do this, but there's a long number of reasons why I just use the in editor. I also don't necessarily love doing this. I know it's available to me. I've been doing better about using Control-Shift-F or whatever to do like project-wide refactors. It definitely has problems compared to like the refactor tools in like Writer or something, but it's pretty good. It's pretty reasonable. All right, so if we're in deployment phase, it's not anybody's turn. Otherwise, it's just you look up combatant turn order using the current turn index. Actually, what we should do is we should say if in deployment phase or current turn index is less than 0, or current turn index is greater than or equal to combatant turn order dot size. See, I'm already like, these are too long. This is going to become turn prompt. This is going to become round number. This is going to become turn order. This is going to become turn index. This is going to become in-depth phase. That lasted all of 5 minutes. GDScript really is really not conducive to long variable names. Do I say turn index or turn number? I should say turn index because we're using it to do indexing. Round number is better. Actually, I guess that's 0 to start, so 0 is fine. So if we're in the deployment phase, or turn index is less than 0, or turn index is greater than or equal to turn order dot size. Otherwise, we return turn order at turn index. You often hide the scripts list, though. I find myself bouncing around so much. If switching to a scene tab also switched to the script, I would probably hide the script list. I know why it doesn't. I know why I don't know why it doesn't, but I see maybe why you would want to not have that be the behavior. If you're like messing around with this or like the inspector or whatever, you don't necessarily want to be jumping around script at the same time, but there's an IDE plugin you've used. reworks the scripts to be tabbed across the top and removes the sidebar. That I kind of like. I would probably prefer that because I don't find this this methods list at all useful. I'm sure it is useful, but like, it's not how I think. So I would totally, I might do that. I might switch to that because that would buy me a lot of space by default. Buy me this much space. And this would be nice. This would be a significant improvement to me. Twister/Godot IDE. Let's see if that's in the asset library. It sounds like it probably does more than just that. Godot IDE extension. It's a combination of... Oh, it's tested with 4.7, which is good. Full features. Script splitter. That's probably the one we're talking about, maybe. Ooh, a refactor tool symbol navigator. That sounds nice. Override functions. That I want. That I want very badly. Quick folds. Filter scripts, search files, search class, some macros. I might have to look at this. Being able to split your script windows is kind of useful. Not that useful. I don't know if I love these symbols, but that's fine. I might check this out. There might be some compatibility issues. So I probably want Godot IDE 0.5.8. Yeah, I don't necessarily love whatever's going on here. Where's this tabs thing? Oh, I see it. I see the script tabs. Yeah, that I kind of love. And there's a lot going on here on the left, but I could probably ignore it. Oh wait, how did they ignore it? I don't actually understand how this person set up their window, but that's fine. Yeah, script tabs, I could maybe F with script tabs. There might be a simpler solution to just getting script tabs, but I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check that plugin out. We're gonna get way too just flush with plugins soon, is my feeling. Return on order. All right, this is a bunch of stuff's gonna break because I changed the names of things. We're in the depth phase. That's one. Oh, is that just an issue? If not, turn manager dot. Let's just forget about this for now. Let's just fix the other errors that I know are here, probably. Someone's gonna ask about the turn manager, and it's gonna fail. Oh, maybe not. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Does undo work? Okay, it looks like undo works again, which is nice. Okay, everything looks good. Oh, we're heading into our second ad break. Boy, does time fly when you're having fun. There's also this one, Script IDE. How many Script IDE plugins is there? Transforms the script UI into an IDE-like UI. Multi-line tabs. Default outline got an overhaul. Shows all members of the script. Ooh, that I kind of like. You're not going to show me any pictures? Yeah, show me some pictures. Oh, gross. This is maybe too much. As far as having multiple lines worth of tabs. But still. It's still better than having the thing on the left. What's going on here? Is there like property things of some kind? Yeah, I don't know. For me, there's this great conflict of like having a nice workflow, but I also want it to be super obvious, like that this is Godot. Like I don't want to go crazy. Like yard is nice because like it's got utility. But that's one of the reasons why I haven't like super customized my Godot experience here. I think I changed my theme to be like the slightly darker version. That's pretty much what I did, like the dark blue one. I didn't like the gray. That's the one Boolean uses? Oh, okay. Yeah, I might try some of these. All right, so on move button toggled, if toggled on, if I guess it doesn't matter. We just need a to do here is what we need. Hashtag to do. Well, we should think about this because what we need to do is we need to like select who what we need to do is we need to say excuse me. We need to say turn manager dot whose turn is it? Dot. Actually, what we need to do is we need to say environment map dot select character fig turn manager dot whose turn is it? Why does it think I'm calling a function? Why does it think this is like a static function? What's happening here? Oh. Lol. Okay, we do that, and then what we need to do is we need to say environment map dot character selected. Actually, we can say variable character fig equals this. And we can just say character fig is moving equals true. Okay, this should be fine. And so what should happen here? Oh, we still need to do the thing where we need to enable the button. You were here yesterday and you're like, why is he doing the same things he did yesterday? Don't worry about it. We totally didn't lose the progress I made yesterday due to foolish acts of hubris. Yeah, I think I would reorganize my window significantly if I wasn't streaming. I would probably take more of an advantage of my multi-monitor setup. This just feels a little constrained, but we're streaming, so gotta fit it all into one on one screen here. What am I trying to do right now? Oh yeah, we need to go to the environment map when we select a character fig selected. Select character fig. Actually, should this be... Is this going to be a signal? Yeah, so we have character figure selected. Someone needs to do this. Who can do this for us? Probably that menu manager. Wait, what happened to my... Oh, that's the wrong one. Move button row, not menu button row. Here we go. We're going to say menu manager dot move button row equals self. This is a little silly. It's a little silly. This should be fine. So we could either do this as a signal, or we could either do this as a call up. I think we'll just do it. Or oh yeah, no, I don't know. Whatever, who cares? We're gonna do for now. We could do it as a reaction to this signal of character fig selected, and we could be like, oh, when the character fig selected signal gets called, we'll just enable the menu button, the move button. But that's not actually what we want to do. I don't want to do something a little slightly different. Because just because we select a character doesn't necessarily mean that you can move them categorically. We should do this. So wait, if character selected, we should unselect the other character, shouldn't we? We should at least do this. If not everything else. Character fig selected dot emit. So we could do this a couple ways. This is how we end up with Spider-Man pointing at each other. Is when we just like go ham on like everyone just chains off of this signal. Arnia, you've been writing your blog? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get to choose who your fans are, I guess. No, I'll have to check out your post. I think blogs are cool. I don't know how they are for like exposure. I guess you're getting exposed, huh? But I don't know about getting exposed in the way that you might want. It feels lazy to not do this as a result of the signal emitting. It probably is something we should do. Because what we would do is we'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Since we already know about this thing. Let's do that. Let's go up here. We've got this ready function. Let's say character fig selected dot connect menu manager dot on character fig selected. This is maybe okay. Maybe okay. Let's say func. This actually makes sense because of the way the buttons are also signaling up here. It actually makes sense to process this here as well. Because we're doing a similar check for these different cases. Like at the fig selected, we need to do the same evaluation as if we need to basically do this evaluation. Pretty much exactly. With a few slight changes. Because we know who the character fig is. So we can say if turn manager dot in, we're in the deployment phase. We just say, we just handle it. We're just like, yeah, sure. GitHub Actions are still down. What a waste of a day. You're actually feeling productive today. What do you rely on GitHub Actions for? No, it was just a joke about, I don't know, the person who liked your post. I just didn't know if that's what the kind of thing you wanted to be exposed to as a result of the blog. Unit tests that run automatically when a PR is opened. Oh yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. I assume this is day job considerations then. I assume you don't have that set up for your game dev. I mean, that's not a bad reason why you couldn't get anything done. Okay, so that's easy. This is easy. Else... Actually, we could just do a return. Otherwise... Why did I have a pass here? So otherwise we need to double check that, make sure character fig is the same as this. Actually, we could do it like this. We could say if turn manager dot in deployment phase or turn manager dot whose turn is it equals character fig. In either of these cases, this is fine. That's okay. All right, let's see if this works. Move button row. Oh, you don't know about the move button. Well, do you need to? You don't. Forget it. I think. Oh, wait, no, you totally need to know that. Okay, well, we're missing a step here. We're going to say menu manager. Actually, can we continue this chain of doing things with signals and not actually having to worry about that much? Let us see. Let us see. How's it going today, everybody? How's it going over on YouTube? I see you all. Appreciate you hanging out today. Is there an on disabled or something? Not really, huh? It's kind of weird. Am I on the wrong object? Oh, maybe I am. Button down, button up, press, toggled. No disabled. That's kind of weird. You'd think that would be like a useful thing to signal off of. And I know I could figure out, I could set up my own, but like, huh? Kind of weird. Kind of weird that that's not in there. Yeah, undisabled would be very useful, right? Hi, YouTube. We care about you. Thanks for saying that. Not gonna lie, YouTube viewership is outpacing Twitch viewership for the last week or so, pretty healthily. They're just not a very chatty bunch. But they're here. They're here. They're hanging out. Maybe they're doing game dev. Appreciate you here. Silent majority. That makes Twitch the vocal minority here. All right, well then we're gonna have to do it this way, huh? Move button row full self. I should probably swap this structure here. We're gonna say, I don't think anyone's using this yet. Also, why was that an int? Clearly nobody's using this yet because I have disabled set to be an int for some reason. Clearly nobody is doing this. Act button disabled. Oh, I guess it's because of how this is set up. Is not toggled on. Maybe that was the right way to do it. A little confusing. A little more clear in here what we're doing. Well, no, I think that's really dumb. Say if toggled on. Say if not toggled on. Actually, we could say it like this. Yeah, I would never put chat on screen. And the only reason I wouldn't allow chat on screen is I don't really want to give anyone a tool that would force me to have to edit my videos. There's one exception, and if you figure it out and misuse it, I will be upset. There's like only one way to force content into the stream. Luckily, nobody has used it nefariously yet. It's not an invitation. But yeah, I don't want to have to like edit my video or take it down just because someone said something stupid in chat. It's nothing against anyone individually. You degenerates. All right, so we go here. On character fix selected, character fig dot is moving is true. On move button toggled. So in this case, if we do this, then we need to say move button row. You say move button row dot toggle move button true. then we technically need the opposite, which is func on character fig unselected. I don't know if we need to care about which fig. You just need to say move button row. This is how you create looping. This is how you create crazy looping signal chains, which I should diagram out at some point because I know we're doing duplicate effort. I know for a fact that there's like many of these cases where like doing something and then signaling something and then something else is also doing the something. But I just at the moment can't be bothered to actually work all of that out. Though that has caused at least one very frustrating bug. Character fig unselected. I think the only way around it is to just kind of try to be as minimal as possible of letting cross-cutting concerns like actually go across. Like doing stuff from here that affects something else. It's like, no, just signal what's occurred and then maybe that thing deals with it. And I'm using informative auto loads that can give us information about things. So if you're like, I want to do this, but I want to double check the status of something first, at least then you can do it that way instead of like reaching over directly. It's a little better. Hey, KCUG, 20 viewers on the YouTube. Let's go. Yeah, it's nice. It's not a high like we've recently been having, but okay. So button is being enabled, but it's not being toggled on. Oh. That or was the wrong thing here. This shouldn't be an or. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. Yeah, we like having a very minimal stream setup here. I do want to add some more fun stuff. I do want to add some channel redeems and some more audio clips and some fun stuff. It's just very low priority. Yeah, I don't know. I think overlays are a lot, but some people seem to have a lot of success and have fancy overlays. So it's like, I don't know if I would attribute on character fig selected if turn manager dot in deployment phase. Wait, why are we doing this? On character fig unselected, that is true. We probably want to do a toggle move button false. I don't actually want to do this. I don't know why I thought I wanted to do that. Weird. Let's not connect that signal because we don't actually want to respond that way. This one. We actually only care about when they're unselected, not when they're selected. Okay, well, that didn't do what I hoped it would. The button is still disabled for some reason. Oh, we did need to do something. We need to enable the button, not toggle it. I got my signals crossed here. We want to signal it. We want to enable it when they connect. We don't necessarily need to toggle it though. But we do need to enable it. And actually, we could do that just like this, huh? Why are we... I don't know. I don't know anymore. We're just doing stuff. Problem with trying to move fast is you often break things. So the is moving is wrong. We don't actually need to do that. We just need to enable it. Oh, I mixed up what the disabled... I misunderstood the purpose of this function here. We're not toggling the button. We're toggling the whether the button is disabled. That's why... Damn it, Dave. Totally forgot the purpose of this thing. The number of times I write something and then forget why it works that way. Past Dave doesn't always know what he's doing, but present Dave certainly doesn't. All right, let's see about this. If done, so it's not. Forget this is moving shit. We don't need to mark this. What we need to do. So if turn manager's in deployment phase, or actually, do we care about either of these? What we need is an if not turn manager in deployment phase. And turn manager, whose turn is it? Actually, we can do it like this. We can say if it is the turn manager deployment phase, or, oh no, I had it right. I just forgot what we were doing. Toggle move button disabled equals false. And then here, toggle move button disabled equals true. Jeez, Dave. Yeah, Boolean's got a cool overlay. Fullbox has a cool overlay. A lot of cool overlays. Ezra has a cool overlay. It'd be cool. Cool overlays are cool. Your workday is over, Rhiannon. Huzzah. I have a lot of work after stream, but luckily it's the kind of work that people leave me alone for. Okay, so now when I select the character, the button is enabled, and when I deselect the character, the button is disabled. That was much ado about very little. And now if I click the move button, now what happens? Okay, now I can move. I still have this thing which I don't know is correct, which is like when we finish a redeploy, we unselect the character. I don't know about that. Oh, you know what? When we disable, we need to unpress the button. That needs to get added. If disabled. It's the wrong menu again. Move button row. If disabled. So in either of these cases, what we need to do is we need to say move button dot set pressed no signal false. We need to unpress it when we disable it. Now let's go in here. You should make a Twitch Plays overlay for Party Wipe to let people spend points and name characters and make game choices. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. You could like, you could give names to characters. You could like control when the player got like their next shop. You could like deny them or allow them a shop visit. You could yeah, you could constrain the random encounters a little bit. It could be like add a fire elemental to the next encounter or something like that. Like you can make the game harder for the player. There's fun stuff. I think Temptic has a Twitch extension that they made, and I'm kind of tempted to try. I don't know when I would have time to do like a Twitch overlay though. But yeah, the plugin thing seems like a good idea. It seems like a good idea. That I might actually bother doing. But that would still be like that would probably be something I'd add for like a 1.0 release or something. It's probably not anything I would have ready for the demo. All right, where the hell do I do this? Oh, I know where. Unselect. So redeploy should not unselect the character fig. Now here's the question of how do I do this? How do I do this one? Okay, this is where I want to have a toggle button ability. So what I want to do is I want to say menu manager dot toggle move button false. I do want these. Toggle move button. So here we can just say move button row. Actually, we can just say move button directly. We can say move button. I don't know if I need to do a set press no signal. Should this be set? No, this shouldn't be. It should be button pressed equals toggled on. This is going to trigger signals, and that might be okay. We need to go back. We need to go back to, maybe not here. Go back to here. Unselect character figure. Not unselect character figure. We want to redeploy. Redeploy selected fig. So we're going to say menu manager, toggle move button. We also need to say character selected dot is moving equals false. I might do the same thing for move selected fig. Because the likelihood that you need to, like, there's no reason you need to leapfrog characters in this game. Like, if you make a move, you could just, that can just be the move you made. Like, I don't think you would need to make another move immediately. So I think I'm going to do that. Twitcher, is that Temptix extension? Oh, that's Connie's. Connie Dev. Oh, maybe they're working on this together. Yeah, this is good. Can show Twitch chat in the game. That's crazy. Can react to events. That's awesome. Can use the Twitch API. Handle chat commands. Easy setup for connecting your Twitch account. Yeah, this is the way we would do it. We would need to use their plugin. That's definitely on my list. On my list of stuff I want to do. And you can use this to create an overlay. So like a Twitch overlay or hook things into a game, which is cool. So yeah, I guess whatever you're trying to do, this is probably the way to do it. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this screenshot? Oh, it's a separate tab. There we go. It's like I'm trapped. Yeah, this is pretty cool. You went that night rabbit hole a bit the other day, Nanigans, after seeing that interactive D&D tool. Nice. You fell for it too. Yeah, I was like, how do I get out? All right, so we select our character. Now we're moving. Oh, this is not what I want to have happen. Why is this? Why did this come back? Well, at least the end is correct. You finish the move, and then you select it again to disconnect it. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's a little sticky, but I think that's fine. We probably also want to disable the move button if you run out of moves. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. So what's going on here? Redeploy. Character selected is moving is false. Menu manager toggle move button is false. Toggle move button dot button pressed equals toggled on. Okay, and then on move button toggled. If toggled on. Elif. Oh, this will just handle this for me, huh? That's interesting. Again, we're setting values multiple times, and sometimes that's okay, and sometimes I think it's biting us in the ass here. But so what is causing the character to get unselected though? Who's doing that? I guess what I should do is just, I don't know. Select a tile, character by tile, erase. I'm gonna look at it again. So that shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't instantly be toggling just because we've selected. And we unselect. And now we're back to fully deselecting. Oh, but only sometimes. Oh, there's also the case which I need to handle, which is like if you're trying to move and you accidentally click onto another character, it moves your figure back, but doesn't actually undo any of this stuff. But it also doesn't set you to is moving. Gotta clean up that case. But yeah, why does selecting the character toggle the move button? It's not what I want. I wonder if we should turn the arrow thing on. I don't want to because I feel like it could break. Maybe it's okay. Actually, maybe it's okay. We just need a version of the pathfinding that ignores obstacles and a version that obeys obstacles. But that's a separate thing we got to get into. Foundation was pretty terrible. Yeah, that's too bad. I started watching it and fell off pretty quick. I wanted to like it though. I fell off after like I think the first few episodes. I really wanted to like it. Okay. Select character fig. You're doing something. Which is effing with me here. There you are. Character selected. If we've already selected a character, undo all of this. Great. Sure. We probably... Oh, you know what's happening here? Can we do it like this? Is it crazy to just do an unselect character? It might be kind of crazy to try to do it like this. Okay. Character selected. I kind of want to just unselect the last character, and this is where we get into some crazy signal consequences that I think I'm unprepared for. Character fig selected on emit. So somebody is listening to this. Who did I connect this to? I connected both of these. So I blame the menu manager, probably. So on character fig selected, if turn manager dot in deployment phase or turn manager dot whose turn is it? Move button row, toggle move button disabled. Character unselected, move button row, toggle move button disabled. Move button. Character fig is... Oh, we don't want to select the character. We don't want to select the character if the character's already selected. So that's not great. Well, you know about the environment map. I'm gonna think about that later. That's a problem. Should probably put it to do here. But that's not the branch we're on. Move button toggled. Memory care selected. Okay, well, hold on. We ask this all the time. Why don't we just do this here? If not, turn manager dot in deployment phase. Very character fig, turn manager, whose turn is it? If character fig is here. If character selected, no, if environment map character fig is not equal to environment map dot care selected, then do this. There we go. To do resolved. That's not the problem though, and I'm unsure about where the problem is, but we're gonna keep looking. We've got time. Yeah, leap pace is pretty cool, I guess. What time is it? 2:30. We got time. We got time. We got time. I'm going to take a 2-minute BRB here. Quick bio break. Be right back. I'm going to run an ad real quick. Hold on to your ads, people. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thanks for hanging out. Here we are. Here we are again. Again. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of new TV. I mostly watch old TV. I'm trying to think. What new TV do I watch? Well, Andor. But Andor's is done. It's been done a while. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Strange New Worlds. I should start watching the new season of Strange New Worlds. That's out now, isn't it? Or it's coming out. Should probably do that. Okay, so selecting the character automatically is toggling the move button, and I don't understand why. I do want to know what happens if I attach a dagger in each of this guy's. Nope, no, that just works. Okay. All right, good to know. Dual wielding, here we come. I think we're gonna need a tag for a rusted dagger and stuff like that, which is like light or something, which is like you can use it in an attack. I don't know. I want something where like certain weapons can't be used more than once a turn. But maybe I define it as like heavy weapons can only be used once a turn, or like reloading weapons can only be used once a turn. Maybe heavy is good. I can make certain things, describe certain things as heavy, like a claymore or like a crossbow. So like maybe a longbow can be fired more than once a turn, but like a crossbow can't or something. I want to do something like that. But what I really want to do is figure out why all of a sudden this button is being pressed automatically. So I don't understand. I just don't get it. Somebody's doing it. Somebody's doing it and I don't know who. Oh, I think it's a signal loop. I think we are encountering a signal loop like I had described. No, that doesn't totally make sense. I don't think that's actually what it is. Toggle move button, toggle move button first. Seems fine. This isn't happening, is it? Let's see if this is happening. It is. How did we get here? On character fig selected. Menu button. Toggle move button. What the f... This is supposed to be toggle move button disabled. False. God damn it, Dave. Who even's doing this? The party manager? Why? What? Hold on. Although that does raise a question, which is like, what happens if I select a roster entry instead of the fig? Okay, that works. So that's because we're doing this kind of loop. I think we're still processing it in character fig selected. Percival the Wizard in the house here. Who else do we got? Oh, we got Rhiannon the Ranger here. Isn't that nice? Coincidence. Strange New Worlds is fun. You caught up on the new season this week? Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna slowly watch through that. That'll be one of my when eating alone kind of shows. I've been watching Vox Machina. If you wanted to get into Star Trek, what's a good one to start with? TNG. I mean, I'd say TNG. Heard Lower Decks. Yeah, don't start with Lower Decks. Starting with Lower Decks is like... I actually don't know what it's like, but it's like getting into a derivative work without seeing the original. Why does the code work I wrote do this, and who is responsible? Yeah, it's me. It's always me. Yeah, Lower Decks is all inside jokes. Yeah, I'm enjoying Vox Machina. I can see the D&D campaign underneath it. I can like see how they got to what's like why things occur the way they occur, which is fun. Okay, well that fixed that, thankfully. So we enable the move button. We'll need to enable the action button. Don't sue me, Tim Rogers. I think the best thing you can do to get into Star Trek is to watch TNG. Someone else said this. This wasn't my idea. But you watch TNG, then you watch DS9, then you watch Lower Decks. And you do that. You'll miss some of the jokes about Voyager, so you can watch Voyager if you really want, but you don't need to watch Voyager. That's my low-key dig at Voyager. It's not my favorite Star Trek. DS9 is the best one, though. But I feel like if you watch DS9 without watching at least some TNG, you kind of miss what makes it so magical. But Deep Space Nine is definitely the best Star Trek show. So you could also just watch that. It's the closest we get to like a modern serialized Star Trek, he says, considering Discovery exists. Okay, so now I can move my character around. I think I made this zone modulate value a little too high. I think it's a little too heavily tinted. Okay, now when I close it, now what happens here? Oh, it's the breakpoint that I put. It's the breakpoint that I put. That's fine. That's fine. Just wait a second. That's coincidentally how you did it. Yeah, it's a good order. TNG, DS9, lower decks. It's solid. There's a few Tom Paris jokes you won't get, but otherwise it's fine. There's actually a whole episode that's basically one long. There's two. No, it's one episode. There's one whole episode that's like just inside Voyager jokes, one after another. But yeah, Lower Decks is so good. It's Lower Decks has a tough existence because it's definitely the best Trek show. But it couldn't exist without the other Trek shows, so it like exists in a weird position. Okay, so I think this is okay, where we move around, we put it down. Now it's not in move mode anymore. I think in other modes, what would happen is you'd run out of movement and the movement button would become disabled. But we're in deployment mode, so we can freely move things around. But yeah, I think I kind of want to show the arrows, the movement arrows. There's just situations where we could get in trouble, where like you could have like this kind of an arrangement. So like these characters block this upper corner, but we can still redeploy the ranger into that corner because it's just free move. It's not like trying to create a path. But I still kind of want to draw a path anyway. I don't know why. I think it would just be more visually interesting to the player. Because then you could also see where you came from. And then we still need to handle the case of I'm moving. And then I click on another character, which resets the move. Because now I'm here. Now everyone is not moving. And yet, this is still toggled on. That's maybe the thing I'll fix now. Because that's annoying. Voyager's your personal fave? No offense. No offense intended. I just didn't get it. That show, we don't need to get into it, but that show, the whole premise of that show felt like it was was a missed opportunity. Yeah, TNG, DS9, Lower Decks. That's a great choice. There's like a handful of original series episodes you could watch, but honestly, if you just watched like a couple of the movies, the original Star Trek movies are pretty good. Guess you have to get Paramount Plus then. I know, that's rough. That's one of the streaming services I have. I don't know if I'm going to still have it after they cancel Strange New Worlds. I'll probably just get rid of that. The Lower Decks Strange New Worlds crossover is really good. I've definitely seen it like 4 times. Very good. But yeah, Voyager felt like a whole missed opportunity because it felt like they were doing all this really cool serialized storytelling stuff in Deep Space Nine, that was all grounded and very like political and like very, very intense. And they like then co-developed Voyager, and they were like, let's not do any of that. Let's not do any of that. Let's let's go back to like doing episodic stuff. And let's purposely go out of our way to avoid the setup. Because spoilers for episode 1 of Voyager. But half the crew, half of the officer corps, are domestic terrorists. And by episode 2, they're all Starfleet officers. And it's like, excuse me, these were domestic terrorists 30 minutes ago. When did they become Starfleet officers? I just felt like there was a lot of rich opportunities in Voyager for the kind of character development that they did regularly on Deep Space Nine, and they ignored all of it. They were like, forget it. But it's so crazy that Voyager is just this random collection of Voyager hijinks, as like Lower Decks calls it, when that was set up to be an even more serialized format than Deep Space Nine. I don't understand. Everyone's probably stopped watching because we're just talking about Star Trek now and not doing game dev. But yeah, that series pissed me off because of that. Because it felt like they wanted me to buy into this thing that just made no sense. Which was like, okay, it would have been cool if it had gone all like Lord of the...
Impeccable, Captain.
Although I think if you'd made Voyager nowadays, it would be unbearable to watch. They would go so far in the opposite direction. It'd be like Discovery, but like way too far, taken way too far. I like Discovery. I don't take digs at Discovery. I stopped watching it in like season 4 or something. Because I kind of lost interest in it, but it's still pretty good. Still pretty good Star Trek. We don't hate any particular Star Trek franchise here. We just have our favorites. But yeah, Voyager pissed me off. Roger. All right, so we're gonna handle this case of I'm moving the character, and then I click on another character, which resets the move, which is good, but it doesn't reset the button press. What's the best way to do that? I guess whenever we select a character, we should... Now we're going to get back to signal chaining, though. Some, like, annoying signal chaining things. Let me see how we can do this. On character fig selected. So we can do all of this. So this doesn't have an opinion about whether the button should be enabled or disabled. Maybe it should. Maybe it should have an opinion about that. Let's go back here to the character select. You never got through Picard. That's fine. Just watch Picard season 3. Forget about season 1. Forget about season 2, which was better than it deserved to be. Just watch season 3 of Picard. Pretend like the whole rest of the series doesn't even exist. Take it easy, Nanigans. All right, so what we do here, if we select a character fig, we do this, is acting, is moving. We do all of this, then we admit our signal. So the thing that I'm cautious about is like, if we click, so I could fix this very easily so that whenever we select a new character, we unselect the move button. But the problem is, if we select a character when we press the move button, you don't want to then unselect the move button just because we've selected a character. And this is how you can get into like signal loops, right? Not like actual infinite loops, but like there's an unintended consequence of like going through the signaling process. Yeah, Arneo. I don't have a strong opinion about that stuff, the MTG stuff, but MTG has certainly gone the way of Fortnite, which I was surprised about. Mark Rosewater was very equivocal about it. He was like, I get that some people don't like these, but you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And it's like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I have a hard time supporting what Hasbro and, you know, specifically Wizards of the Coast is doing nowadays. Like, if I ever got an opportunity where I could, like, basically play D&D again, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd want to just keep shoving that money to Wizards. I think I would probably pick something else, like Daggerheart or something, even though it has way less content for it. I don't know. I'd be pretty torn. I'd have a pretty hard time continuing to support Wizards of the Coast. They've fairly enshittified most of their platforms. All right, so what I think we can do is we can go here, and when we toggle the move button, which we do somewhere, we do it up here for some reason. When we've toggled, no, on move button toggled. So when we do this, what we can do is we can select the character fig, which we do here. On move button toggled. No, that's not what we want. What we want is on character fig selected. No, this isn't what we want either. We want this branch, which is if not turn manager dot in deployment phase. We take this, we say, okay. We do this select character fig. And then what we need to do is we need to say move button dot set pressed no signal. Because we've already processed the signal. So what we can do is we could actually have selecting a character fig, undoing the move button maybe. Maybe this doesn't work. The obvious thing to do is to have it be that when you select a character, it resets that button. But I actually don't know. Actually, I do know how to do that. We do that. We were in exactly the right place to do that already, which is character fig selected. On character fig selected, we may or may not disable it, but what we should always do, regardless, is we should say move button dot set pressed no signal false. We can do that at the end, I guess. So whenever the character fig gets selected, we unset the move button. Even when it was setting the move button that caused the character to be selected, we just have another line down here where we set the button back. And that should all happen fast enough that nobody notices. He says, theoretically. Picard Season 3 is only good for nostalgia, though, right? You felt nothing watching it since you're not really a Star Trek fan. Well, yeah, I should caveat that. Watch Picard Season 3 if Patrick Stewart is your TV dad. I thought that went without saying. Only if the TNG crew was your TV family growing up. That's why you watch Picard. Don't watch Picard if you're not a fan. Certainly don't watch it if you haven't seen TNG, right? No, yeah, it's 100% nostalgia cash in. And the thing is, that's significant because of how they fumbled the bag for the first 2 seasons. Because for the first 2 seasons of Picard, they didn't understand what Picard should be, which is just a TNG reunion. Then they finally came around to realizing wait, we need to do a TNG reunion season. And then they did it. And the only real crime is that it took them 3 seasons to figure that out. Oh yeah, I don't know. All right, so we can do this. So I think this is working. Let's try to do one of those tricky moves. So we're moving, we try to move onto a character's slot, which will fail. Let's see what happens to the move button. Okay, so now we've got Percival selected again. And the move button's been reset. And then I do that and the move button's disabled. Okay. Wow. Okay, it took an extra day. But I think we figured this out. And I can also, we can level up item cards again. That's not broken anymore. That's nice to see. Oh, you know what I probably want to do? Is I actually probably want to enable the move button when we're actually in combat. So that you can just click it and it selects the character whose turn it is. I mean, honestly, it should auto-select whoever's the character whose turn it is. But we shouldn't actually disable the move button necessarily. We should only do that if we're in the deployment phase. I need to make that clarification. I think I can do that here. Character fig unselected, move button row, toggle move button disabled is true. That should only occur, both of these in fact, should only occur if we're in the deployment phase. We'll handle more of that stuff later. Yeah, no worries. Alternatively, if you like 90s kind of aesthetic, if you like low budget, Babylon 5 is becoming free to watch on YouTube. They're supposed to be adding full episodes. You'd need to watch it in order. I don't know if that's doable yet, but I heard that they're making a dedicated like an official Babylon 5 channel. Because that's the greatest space operatic TV show ever produced. Easily. Like, not even close. Like, I don't know what else you would put up there near it. You'd probably put up, like, Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined one. You'd probably put up, like, The Expanse, which I haven't seen all of, so. But yeah, Babylon 5. The last of the Babylon stations. Okay, well, I'm reasonably happy. There's a couple of things I don't love currently, which is we need to actually reset this boundary, this deployment zone thing. So the thing that we're not doing, which is that if we click this here and click move, it doesn't actually update the thing until we're back in the screen. And that we need to get around. Similarly, if we unclick it, if we leave move mode, this should go away, and that's not currently happening. So if I plant it, this turns off. This area is still being rendered. If I unselect the character, it goes away. But if I do this all on the button side, it doesn't actually update. Like if I unpress this, it's still up. So there's some stuff we're doing on the environment manager or the environment map that's gated to only process when we're within the bounds of the map. And that I need to turn off for some of this stuff, like for some of the visual feedback. But we're doing okay. We're way behind schedule, but you know, that's not that surprising. SG-1 is good, but no, it's not a space opera. SG-1 is like comfort food. Mindless comfort food. It's very fun. I don't say mindless is mean. But yeah. SG-1, the tone of SG-1 is the same as the tone of Voyager, in my opinion. This kind of like serialized, like or not serialized, this kind of episodic, like we're just having hijinks each episode. And I think it's super appropriate for SG-1 and deeply inappropriate for Voyager. But yeah, I love the vibe of Stargate SG-1. Richard Dean Anderson is probably my other TV dad. I had a real dad. I just also have TV dads, so don't worry about it. My TV dads were definitely Richard Dean Anderson and Patrick Stewart. I could say TV uncles. I don't know. They had a lot of influence on me. I love Richard Dean Anderson. And I fear and respect Patrick Stewart. Clearly, Richard Dean Anderson was the fun uncle. The fun one. Oh yeah, LSG, when you start watching TNG, note that the production values and tone of the first season are all over the place. Because they haven't figured out how the show works yet. And there are some really bad episodes. But there's also some really, really good episodes, so please don't skip season 1. I would consider it formative. You, like, literally won't know who Tasha Yar is. You skip season 1. Which seems like a shame. Okay, I think we're good for today. I think this is a satisfying amount of progress for today. It's not great, but I'd say it's enough. You confuse BSG and Starship Troopers. Interesting. You love campy, low budget? Forget Star Trek then. Go watch Babylon 5. Oh, you confuse Battlestar Galactica and Starship Troopers. Fair. Starship Troopers is good. Excellent movie. They're going to ruin it with the new one. But we can stop talking about sci-fi stuff. That's random sci-fi shows. It felt more on point with the stream back when I was making an FTL faster than light kind of game. Feels less appropriate now that I'm making like a D&D game. But it's still all of our interests, so you know, talk about it. But yeah, if you love campy low budget, when they start releasing Babylon 5, B5, go watch that shit on YouTube. It's good. You'll cry by the end of it. You'll be so emotionally invested in everyone. It's so good. It's fine. That's just a few thousand hours of homework. Don't worry about it. Just watch 4 shows real quick. And report back. Alright. Yeah, that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow for our regular Friday stream where we celebrate. It can't be Friday enough, but soon enough, you know. I will be saying, thank goodness it's Friday. Thank Godot it's Friday. I'm ready to say that line, but it's not time. So I guess I will bid you all adieu. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I see you next time.
Maximum warp.
Maximum warp. Go smash that like and subscribe button over on YouTube. Thanks, y'all.